I would like to give you a quick description on how to apply the concept of tapping into the scales and arpeggios. And let me just start out with using the E minor pentatonic scale and give you a few ideas on what you can do with this technique. I'm sure that you are acquainted with the technique before, so let me just give you some ideas what you can use this technique for and compose and create your own licks and chops. So let's say we have the E minor pentatonic right here from the 7th fret on the A string. So we want to play around with those notes using the tapping technique. And the first thing that you could do was to pretty much just play the scale but using the tapping technique instead. So to keep things pretty simple, I would just choose one finger to tap with. In many cases people are using the index finger to tap with, and so I will do precisely that in this video, even though I often prefer to use the long finger so I can keep the pick close, shifting from different techniques. But let's just start with the index finger. So if I want to create a little tapping lick here from this scale, then the concept is that I add yet another note on the same string that I would normally play on the next string. And so since the minor pentatonic scale is 1, flat 3, 4, 5th, flat 7th, then I would play the 4th on the same string, which in the case of E minor is A. So instead of going, I go like this. And then we analyze it a little further and find out that the next note is the B in the E minor scale, which is positioned right here on the 9th fret on the D string. So what I then do to continue this idea is then I move in with my index finger to the D string, and then I hammer on to the 5th of the scale, and we analyze it even further and find out that the 7th is the next note. So I do have to so if I continue the idea of playing 2 notes per string, as is a tradition in playing pentatonic, then I would do a hammer on to the D, which is the 7th in the E. And then I tap the root note on the same string, on the D string. So I have the E here again. And then I want just to continue, you can continue this into infinity. After the root note, as we discussed on the first string, we go into the minor third, and the minor third in E is then G. And then we have to do a pretty large skip here, go all the way up if you want to use the index finger, go all the way up to the 12th fret, and then I hammer on to the 4th, which we found out before that was positioned here on the 7th fret, which was the A. So I hammer on to the A, and then I tap the 5th on the same string. So I have 3 notes per string, but 2 of the notes are played with the left hand and 1 is played with the right hand. So the idea becomes this. And this could just become one little lick, or you could expand it to the other strings as well if you wanted to. That would be that. What I do here is actually I draw a little extra material, so to say, from the notes, and I repeat notes again and again to make the lick sound even, to make the lick longer and bigger and sound a little, even though I just repeat those same old notes. The next concept that I could do from this was to make it sound even more arpeggio-like. And so what I could do is I skip the fourth. Almost all the notes in the pentatonic scale is chord notes, especially if you play over a E minor 7 here. So then I use in the chord, I use the first note, the second, which in this case is the flat third, the fifth, and the seventh. And that's why it sounds so good. Those notes, you never get any of those notes that you get in the major scale that can sound a little off, what we call avoid notes. We only have the fourth that could be an avoid note, but so that's why it's so nice and easy to use the pentatonic scale, and you can pretty much never go wrong with that scale. So what I could do was to skip the fourth and then move into the fifth, and then we actually just have a minor third triad here. And all the notes from the minor third triad is on one string here. And of course we could just skip the D string and then do that same pattern. Or we could expand it in a little more interesting way maybe, and do what I have been doing for many years, do this one. Because then I just skip a string and go directly to the seventh here. If I choose to do a -7 chord arpeggio, I could do this arpeggio instead, which is something that I've been doing this for many years, this exact shape, and I know that Michael Romeo and several other guys are doing it. Then I would just play the seventh here on a G string, hammering onto the root note, and then tap the minor third on the G string. So actually just playing those two strings, you would have the complete arpeggio and then some. But what I do actually is then, after I've played the minor third here, then I want to add yet some more notes to make it sound a little more, hammering on to the B, which is, as we discussed before, the fifth, hammering on to the seventh, and we have the root note once again.